Hola chicos, ¿cómo están? Hoy vamos a hablar sobre comparaciones, or comparisons. So we use comparisons to talk about which of two people or things has a lesser, equal, or greater degree of equality. And this is how we do it in Spanish. We're going to have a noun, then the words más or menos. Más is for more, or menos is for less. The adjective, the adverb of a noun, and then the word que. An example of this would be Ana es menos alta que Naim. We have the noun, the word menos. We're going to have es because it's equality. So noun plus es plus menos in this case. Alta is an adjective. It's a quality. It's not as high as Naim. Que. Que is just the equivalent in English to dan. Okay? So it's something we use to compare. When we use comparisons with numbers, we're gonna have the word más or menos, more or less. Then the word de instead of que. Notice how we have the adjective, adverb, noun, and it's followed by que. In this case, or number. After más, we're gonna have de, and then we're gonna have the number hay más de 30 sillas. When we're gonna compare using verbs instead of, because let's go back to the first part. The first formula, just to call it somehow, it's when we use adjectives, adverbs, or nouns. Our next formula is when we use numbers, and the last one is when we use verbs. Okay? So this will be, we have verbs plus más o menos, and then we have que. An example will be Jennifer corre más que yo. Another thing that you always have to keep in mind, más, when it's done more than something else, is going to have that tilde. Okay? Another example will be Ángela cocina menos que Esteban. Look at the difference one more time. When we use adjectives, adverbs, or nouns, we have the noun, we are going to have the verb ser, the word más o menos, the adjective, the adverb, the noun, then again a noun. While we use the verb, we have the noun, the verb, más or menos que, something else we don't. So another example for this one here will be Francisco es más, let's use más since we already used menos, más inteligente que Laura. Again, since it's an adjective, we're gonna use the verb ser after the noun. Okay? Okay, let's continue to our next part, which is a comparison of equality. So here's what happens when we talk about equality. We have two situations, where when we use adjectives and adverbs, and another one when we use nouns to compare. Okay, so in English will be to say is as much as something else, right? Because they're equal. Before it was, we were saying it's smaller, taller, bigger, more expensive, smarter, more intelligent. Now we're saying it's as much as, right? So when we use adjectives and adverbs, only adjectives and adverbs, we're going to use tan. Right? So we have tan, an adjective or an adverb, and como. Por ejemplo, el helado es tan rico como el pastel. Rico is an adjective, delicious, is tasty. The ice cream is as delicious or enjoyable as the cake. Nonetheless, we have another situation when we use nouns to compare. Then is when we're going to use tanto. And tanto acts as an adjective. It's not an adjective, but it acts as it. And what this means is it means that it's going to have to agree. If you have a singular noun, it's going to be tanto or tanta. If you have a plural noun, it's going to be tantos or tantas. Also, you have to agree in gender. So if it's masculine, it can be tanto or tantos. And if it's feminine, it can be tanta or tantas. Okay? And it's going to follow this format. Tanto, noun, como. Yo estudié tantas horas como Camila. El helado es tan rico como el pastel. Also, since we are given these adjectives and adverbs are used to give descriptions, you're going to have the verb ser right before the tan. Okay? It's just like we did before when we were comparing. Here, when we were using adjectives, adverbs, and nouns, since we were giving descriptions, we have the verb ser before the más and the menos. So with adjectives and adverbs, you're going to have the verb ser before más, menos, or tan. Okay, let's continue with the comparisons of equality. So tan and tanto can also be used to make emphasis rather to compare. Tan will mean so, tanto, so much, or so many. Let's look at these examples. La casa de Natalia es tan grande. So we're basically saying Natalia's house is so big. So instead of comparing something, we're emphasizing on the size of the house. Let's look at our next example. Hay tanto que hacer. There is so much to do. There is so much to do. Again, we're not comparing, we're just emphasizing in something that there is a lot to do. Okay. Also, when we're comparing verbs, like we did before in the comparison of inequality, we have one formula for adjectives, adverbs, and nouns, and then another formula for verbs. Our formula in this case is verb plus tanto como. Okay? Let's look at the examples. Sonia corre, verb play first, tanto como Mariana. Sofía, her noun, then the verb estudia, tanto como Carlos. Since these are verbs, we don't have to worry about having to decide whether it's going to be tan or tanto. With verbs, we are always going to use tanto, and it's always going to be masculine and singular. Like you can tell, we have the verb correr and estudiar, and for both cases, we use the word tanto. So, okay. And our last part of this grammar point is the irregular comparisons. What does this mean is that they are adjectives that have irregular comparative forms. As you can tell in the table here, we have the adjectives bueno, buena, malo, malo, bueno, which also can be bien. So bien. And for malo, we can also have malo. Those are adjectives because they describe. They are all related. So when we're comparing, we're going to use instead of bueno or buena or bien, we're going to use mejor. For example, I don't know. Olive Garden es mejor que McDonald's. McDonald's. And we have here. Okay. So in Spanish, it's not right to say es mejor, es más bueno o más bien. Instead of this, we're going to use mejor. So it's incorrect to say más bien or más mejor. Instead of that, we're going to use the irregular. That's why they're called irregular, because they are going to change when you do the comparison. Es mejor que McDonald's. In the case of malo, mala, or mal, we're going to use, let's write this the other way. McDonald's es peor que Olive Garden. Okay? As you can tell here, is just the same. Since we're comparing, we're going to use the es. We have peor, because again, it's incorrect to say es más malo o menos malo. We use peor. Why? Because it's irregular. When we're talking about age, we're going to use always the word mayor. And when for someone that is older. And when we're talking about someone that is younger, we're going to use menor. Por ejemplo, mi hermano es mayor que tu hermana. My brother is older than your sister. Yo soy menor que tú. That will be to refer about age, meaning that you are younger than someone else. And yo soy menor que tú. I am younger than you. Mi hermano es mayor que tu hermana. My brother is older than your sister. So this is when we want to use words like joven or viejo. When we're talking about grande and pequeño, we're also going to use mayor and menor, because we can't say in Spanish, mi hermana es más grande que tú. That will mean in size, in terms of size, and not of being an adult or being older or younger than someone else, okay? So those are the tricky. People tend to usually make mostly mistakes with bueno, más mejor, the much better. We say mucho mejor, no más mejor. That doesn't exist either. Let me write that one here. Mucho mejor and not más mejor. There is not más mejor, there is not más bueno, más malo. It's always going to be mucho mejor o mejor. There is no más malo, menos malo. It's peor, ¿ok? Ok, chicos. Si tienen preguntas, por favor, vayan a escribir al tablero de discusión, discussion board. Si tienen preguntas, por favor. Que estén bien. Feliz día. Chao.